Ladies and gentlemen, life can feel overwhelming, dark, and uncertain. But even in the toughest moments, there is a force greater than any evil, and that force is God's grace. Whether you see it clearly or feel it only in subtle ways, divine protection surrounds you more than you may realize. If you're struggling, doubting, or feeling spiritually attacked, here are 5 powerful signs that God's grace is actively protecting you from evil. Number 1. Peace in the middle of chaos. There are moments in life when everything seems to be falling apart, when relationships crumble, finances become unstable, health concerns arise, or overwhelming stress and anxiety take over. It's in these very moments, when most people expect fear and panic to take control, that some individuals experience something entirely different, an unshakable peace. This peace is not born from external circumstances. It doesn't come from a guarantee that everything will work out or from having all the answers. Instead, it comes from deep within, rooted in a quiet confidence that something greater is holding it all together. This is not ordinary calm, it is divine peace, a direct sign of God's grace. God's grace often doesn't change the storm itself, but it changes us in the storm. While chaos swirls around, grace whispers, "Be still." It calms the heart even when the mind doesn't understand. You could be facing the worst days of your life, and yet somehow you feel grounded, centered, and protected. That's not your strength, that's God's hand covering you. It's as if you're walking through fire and not getting burned, because grace has placed a shield around your soul. Evil feeds on fear. It thrives when you begin to doubt, panic, and lose your sense of hope. But peace is the enemy of evil. When you carry peace in the middle of turmoil, you are resisting the very tool that darkness tries to use against you. You're showing that no matter what comes, your spirit cannot be shaken. That level of peace doesn't come from meditation alone or from mental training. It comes from trusting that you are not alone in the battle. It comes from knowing that God is not distant. He is present, active, and fighting for you in ways you cannot always see. Sometimes you might not even notice the grace at first. You may be in the middle of a crisis and just trying to survive. But then you look back and realize that something unusual carried you through. You should have broken down. You should have given up. But you didn't. That peace you felt in moments of complete uncertainty. That was God's grace holding you up, keeping you together when everything else was falling apart. This kind of peace can't be forced or faked. It's not about pretending everything is okay. It's about feeling secure even when everything is not. It's that subtle, powerful reassurance that whispers to your soul, you are protected. And the more you recognize this peace, the more you realize that it's not just an occasional blessing, it's a constant presence. Even if you can't see the outcome, even if the chaos doesn't disappear immediately, this peace is the reminder that God is with you in every step. His grace is your anchor, and as long as it's there, and it always is, evil cannot win. Number 2. Unexplainable deliverance from danger. There are times in life when you find yourself narrowly avoiding situations that could have ended in disaster. Maybe it was a car accident that almost happened but didn't. Perhaps it was a job opportunity you desperately wanted that fell through, only for you to later discover it would have led you down a harmful path. Or it could have been a relationship you thought you needed, but something pushed it away before it could damage your soul. In those moments, you might not realize it right away, but later you look back and know deep inside that was not just coincidence. That was divine intervention. That was God's grace pulling you away from danger, even when you didn't see the threat. This kind of deliverance can feel mysterious. It doesn't always come with a loud warning or a clear explanation. Sometimes doors just close, circumstances shift, plans fall apart without reason, and in the moment, it's frustrating. You question why things aren't working out. But over time, clarity comes and you begin to see that what you thought was a setback was actually a shield. You were being protected from something that could have harmed you in ways you didn't even understand at the time. God's grace operates in silence just as powerfully as it does in miracles. It steps into moments you weren't even aware needed saving. It removes people who were draining your energy. ends partnerships that were headed toward destruction, and redirects you away from paths that were leading into danger. It's not always obvious. In fact, grace often feels like rejection or delay at first. But what's really happening is that evil is being blocked before it can reach you. You are being delivered not because you saw the threat, but because grace did. There's something sacred about the protection you didn't ask for. It reveals just how closely you're being watched over. Even when your guard is down, even when you're unaware, grace stands between you and the harm that was meant to take you out. And the more you start to recognize these moments, the close calls, the missed connections, the more you begin to understand that you are not living by chance. You are being carried by a force that knows more than you do, sees further than you can, and loves you deeper than you understand. When you survive something you didn't see coming, when you walk away from a situation and later realize how bad it could have been, that's a sacred sign. You are protected. Evil may have tried to reach you, but it didn't succeed. Because grace was faster, grace was stronger, and grace, without your asking, stepped in to save you. That kind of deliverance is not random. It's a reminder that no matter what you face, there is always a divine power working in your favor, often in ways you won't fully understand until long after the danger has passed. Number 3. A sudden urge to change direction. Sometimes in life, just when you think you're on the right path, you suddenly feel an unexpected pull, an inner nudge that tells you to stop, pause, or change direction entirely. This feeling can come as a quiet whisper or an urgent wave of intuition that you can't ignore. It might happen just before you make a big decision, before you commit to something important, or even in the middle of a plan you thought was set in stone. This sudden urge to change course is more than just coincidence or simple hesitation. It is often a sign of God's grace actively protecting you from danger you can't yet see. We live in a world full of distractions, noise, and countless options. Sometimes it's hard to know which way to go. That inner voice, that gut feeling, is a powerful form of guidance, a direct line from a higher power warning you before harm comes your way. It's as if grace is stepping in, saying, "Not this way, stop and listen." When you honor that urge, you are aligning yourself with divine protection. When you ignore it, you risk walking into difficulties that could have been avoided. This urge to change direction often feels unsettling because it challenges your plans and your certainty. It forces you to rethink what you thought was the right move. But it's important to remember that this discomfort is actually a blessing in disguise. The discomfort is grace speaking to you through your intuition. It's a gentle yet powerful reminder that your life's path is not just shaped by your own desires or decisions, but by a greater force that cares deeply about your safety, growth, and well-being. Many people look back on moments when they felt that sudden urge and realize it saved them from mistakes or harm. Maybe it stopped them from accepting a harmful job, entering a toxic relationship, or making a financial choice that would have caused ruin. At the time, it might have felt frustrating or confusing, but in hindsight, it was a clear sign of protection, a divine redirection away from what could have brought pain. Grace often works through these small, quiet moments. It doesn't always shout or force you to change. Instead, it plants seeds of caution, doubt, or hesitation that can save you from bigger consequences later. This is why it's so important to learn to listen to that inner voice, that sudden urge, and trust it. Your intuition is a gift, a way God communicates with you, guiding you away from evil and toward what's truly best for your life. When you begin to recognize and honor these nudges, you build a stronger connection with the source of your protection. You learn to trust that even when the path looks unclear or difficult, grace is steering you away from danger and toward your highest good. That sudden urge to change direction is a beautiful, life-saving sign that you are not walking alone. You are guarded, watched over, and lovingly redirected, always protected by a power far greater than any challenge you face. Number 4. The right people at the right time in life. There are moments when everything seems impossible to handle alone, when you feel overwhelmed, lost, or stuck in a difficult place. During those times, often without warning, the right person appears. They may show up as a friend, a mentor, a stranger, or even someone you barely know, but their presence feels like a lifeline. This is not merely chance or luck. It's a powerful sign of God's grace working behind the scenes, sending the right people at the right time to protect you from harm and guide you toward healing and growth. These people come into your life when you need them the most, even if you don't realize it at first. They might offer a listening ear when you feel unheard, give advice when you're confused, or simply provide encouragement when your spirit is weak. Sometimes they help shield you from toxic influences or pull you out of dangerous situations without you even knowing it. Their timing is perfect, their support genuine, and their presence a reminder that you are never truly alone. This is grace in action, divine protection through the people around you. The right people can be a source of strength and wisdom, helping you make better decisions and avoid pitfalls that could lead to suffering. When you reflect on your life, you often notice a pattern. Those crucial moments when everything could have gone wrong, but didn't, because someone stepped in just in time. That friend who reached out with timely advice, the colleague who warned you about a harmful deal, or even a stranger who showed unexpected kindness. These encounters are not random. They are part of a divine plan to keep you safe. Sometimes the people who show up aren't who you expected or even wanted. They might challenge you, push you out of your comfort zone, or hold you accountable in ways that feel difficult. But these interactions are still acts of grace. They are the universe's way of steering you away from danger or helping you grow stronger. God's grace doesn't always protect you by smoothing every path. Often, it does so by placing the right people around you to guide, warn, and support you through the rough terrain. Recognizing these moments can help you appreciate the unseen forces at work in your life. When you start to notice how often you've been helped just when you needed it, it becomes clear that you're surrounded by more than coincidence. You're enveloped in protection and care. This awareness can deepen your trust in the journey and remind you that even in your darkest hours, grace is at work through the people God sends your way. So when the right person walks into your life, don't take it for granted. They are a gift, a sign that you are being watched over and protected. Embrace their presence, learn from their wisdom, and allow their support to remind you that God's grace is always near, working quietly but powerfully to keep you safe from evil and lead you toward your highest good. Number 5. Strength you didn't know you had. There are moments in life when you feel completely drained, overwhelmed, and on the verge of giving up. The challenges seem too big, the burdens too heavy, and the future too uncertain. Yet somehow, against all odds, you find yourself standing strong. You rise again after failure, keep moving forward when every step feels like a struggle, and face obstacles you never imagined you could overcome. This unexpected resilience, the strength you didn't know you had, is a powerful sign of God's grace working in your life. Often, this kind of strength surprises even you. You might not understand where it comes from, especially when it appears in the middle of your toughest trials. It's not always physical strength or loud courage. Sometimes it's quiet perseverance, the ability to keep going when your heart feels broken or your spirit feels weak. This strength is deeper than willpower. It's a grace, gift, a spiritual energy given to you to carry you through the darkest valleys. When evil tries to wear you down, it targets your mind, your emotions, and your hope. It wants you to believe you are weak, powerless, and alone. But grace shows up and changes the narrative. It reminds you that you are stronger than your circumstances. It gives you the courage to face each new day, even when the weight of your problems seems unbearable. This hidden strength is proof that God is fighting for you, lifting you up, and protecting your soul from being crushed by despair. Many people look back on their lives and realize that they survived things they never thought they could. They overcame heartbreak, illness, loss, or failure, not because they had all the answers, but because grace gave them the endurance to keep going. That strength was not theirs alone. It was God's strength working through them. It carried them when their own legs gave out, helped them smile when tears threatened to fall, and kept their hope alive when everything seemed lost. This hidden strength also teaches us humility. It reminds us that no matter how capable or independent we believe we are, there is a greater power supporting us. It encourages us to rely on grace rather than solely on our own efforts. Recognizing this strength allows us to face the future with confidence, knowing that we have already been equipped with what we need to overcome whatever comes next. Strength you didn't know you had is also a call to keep moving forward, no matter the difficulty. It's a message that even when you feel at your lowest, you are not without power or protection. This strength is a shield against fear, doubt, and evil, a sign that you are under divine care. It's a reminder that God's grace is not just for moments of joy, but especially for times of trial. So, when you feel weak, remember the strength that has already carried you through. That unseen power is a clear sign you are protected. It's proof that grace is real and alive in your life, giving you everything you need to rise, fight, and triumph beyond what you ever imagined possible. Even when you don't see it, God's grace is working. It doesn't mean life will be free of pain, but it does mean you will never walk through that pain alone. Evil may come close, but it can't touch you when grace surrounds you. So walk boldly, keep your head high. You are protected, guided, and loved beyond measure. Thank you.